Today I would like to talk about a story that's been on my mind for some time now. Let's get into it. My story I'm about to tell you is just fake. Made it up all in my head. Something I've been thinking about for a little while now. Figure I'll tell the tale. So, let me know what you think. Our story begins in the grass plains of South Dakota, a little time after the Civil War, where the wind's blowing in the grassy plains, grass flowing in the wind, beautiful summer day, got some beautiful lakes in the distance, and the rolling hills. On the third hill lies an old shack, run down, left and abandoned for years. To the left of it, some old trees and grub growing, planted long ago, been abandoned for years. 40 yards out in front of the shack, just where the hill dips down, it's a big boulder. It's been there forever. At the back of the shack, horse tied up to an old worn out board sticking out from the shack. Shack's weathered, no windows, nothing left, dirt floors, just an old rickety old place. Horse is all tied up, saddle set on, gun holster for a rifle in the front. Rifle's missing. Inside the old shack, a man crouched down, sitting on his heels, pouring himself a nice cup of coffee into an old tin that he's had for years since the wars ended. As he takes a drink of his coffee, stands up, looking around the old shack, kind of looks out at the old rickety half leaning back door that he left open, sitting there barely hanging on, looking at his horse. As his horse sits there, shakes his head. The wind blows through the shack as he kind of takes another drink, grabs his hat a little bit. He then looks out towards the front window as he believes he spots something in the distance. In the far distance, he can see a rider, someone sitting on a horse coming towards him, dipping down the one hill. As the man takes a bigger drink of his coffee, pulls out a pocket watch, checks the time, closes it, walks towards his pot of coffee. As he polishes off his drink, sets it down on the ground, he starts to see the man coming up the third hill. As he looks close, he thinks to himself, that's not the man I'm meeting. At least I don't think it is. As he grabs his rifle, leaning up against the wall. It's an old single shot, set trigger, long, one of them first original scopes. See, kind of crouches down a little bit just in the middle of the room, kind of aims out and looks. In the distance, he sees a man sitting on a horse, white blouse, overalls attached to his pants. Pants are old, worn out, and dirty, but you can still see that little bit of blue and gold still on the side of his pants, leading down to his old worn out black leather boots. The man has his hat off. As he's wiping some sweat from his forehead, he remounts his hat back on as he kind of tips it a little lower, angling it just right so the wind doesn't blow it off his head. Man's just trotting along. The man looking through the scope realizes Looks like we got a northerner, a Yankee. I'd recognize that hat, those pants, and them boots. Yeah, it's definitely a cavalryman. I could tell just by the way he's riding. The southern man kind of tips up, kind of angles himself a little bit to the side of the window in the middle of the room so the sunlight can't glare and give away his position. He thinks to himself, wow, what's a dirty old Yank doing all the way out here? The man dips down into the second hill. As he's coming back up, the man's looking at him again through the scope. Just as he's getting ready to dip down to come up towards the shack, the man on the horse pays no mind to the shack, just an old place. He's on his way to Deadwood to make his fortune. Make his weight in gold or something valuable. Hoping that he's gonna find something. Because for a long time he's been missing something in his heart. He's just trying to find it. Hoping that maybe riches will change his life, change his outgoing. As the man just continues to trot along, headed back up towards the hill, Southerner still ducked down looking at him through the scope, decides in his head, let's test this yellow belly Yank. Let's see what kind of grit he's got on him. As he clicks the set trigger and then moves back to the main trigger. Boom! White puff of smoke comes out through. The bullet whizzes right past his horse and him. The horse, scared, rears up, flops down. The man pinned under his horse takes his leg, kicks himself out, losing his hat on the ground, but quickly as possible draws his pistol. As his horse stands up to gallop away, the man quickly shoots, boom, boom, and runs towards the big rock. Takes cover behind it. See, sits there behind the big rock. He's then sitting there thinking, bandits, are you kidding me all the way out here? Come on, this is just what I needed in my day. See, kind of leans up, goes to lean up above the rock, slowly just leans the top of his head as a bullet slaps the rock and passes him. Man reducts back down. Oh shit. Crap. He's got me pinned here. He checks his gun, pulls out the 2 bullets he had, pulls off 2 off his belt, slides 2 more cartridges into the gun. Starts looking around, sees his hat there, his horse is over there, Gapple, just kind of grazing, watching, pinning its ears. He's like, nowhere to go, and only this dang rock to hide. The Southerner, reloading his gun, pulls it out, puts the next one in, relocks it, just does a half cock and a full cock. And just kind of looks and watches, see what happens. As he kind of picks up, moves a little bit farther into a different spot just in case. The Yank sitting there behind the stone decides, well, it's time, now or never. As he stands up, firing his gun, shoots 3 rounds as he runs the 40 yards to the side of the shack, goes up to the left, jumps down, hankers. The bullets came nowhere near the Southern man, way off. He knows he's just shooting to run. Southern man sitting there, kind of can see the Yank through the wall. Just as he was getting ready to take aim again, the Yank then yells out, "What do you want? What do you want from me? You bandits? Because I ain't got no money. Everything I have is either on me or on that horse. So the Southern man looks out towards his horse. The Yank's sitting there up against the wall, looking around slowly. Then realizes there's a horse tied up at the back of the shack. He kind of gets up on his knees, just kind of crouches and slow as possible walk. The Southern man looking at him. Doesn't answer, doesn't say much, just watching. As he watches him go this way, he steps up, steps through the window, makes his way to the other side. The Yank then yells out, "Well, I know there's only one of you. I only saw a puff of smoke from one gun twice. Show yourself, or tell me what you want." Southern man then finally decides, "Well, you yellow belly Yank, I wanted to test your grit. I wanted to see what you're about." The Northerner yells back, "You a Johnny Reb?" "Yeah." "What do you want with me?" "I ain't got no money." Southerner says, "I told you, I'm only testing your grit." Northerner all confused. "What's that supposed to mean?" Southerner doesn't answer. So he makes his way back, unties the horse, shushes him away. So now the Southerner's horse kind of runs off a little bit, but not too far, a couple yards out. Horse is well trained. It's seen plenty of gunfights during the war. The Northerner sees a gap through the window, can see the shadow. Cocks his gun, takes aim through the window. The Southerner hears the cocking of a gun and decides to run a little bit, and as the Northerner pops off a couple more rounds, Southerner kind of makes his way toward the front of the shack, sets his trigger, pulls the trigger again, sending around through the wall, through the other wall, missing the Yank. He then yells out, "Well, Yellow Belly, seems like we're in a serious predicament. What do you want to do?" Northerner yells out, "Well, Johnny Reb, this is all you got. I say we settle this like men. I'd rather not be shot." Southerner says, "What are you suggesting?" "I suggest we throw down our guns on the count of 3 and we settle it like men. How's that sound?" Southerner strokes his chin, feeling his beard, goes, "Well, I suppose we could. But I don't know if I trust in no Yellow Belly Yank." Northerner replies, "Me? You shot at me first. How do I know I can trust you?" Southerner says, That's a good point, Yank. It's a good point. Alright, we'll settle this like men. Throw out your gun, and I'll set down mine." So the Yank comes around the corner, gun in his hand, finger ready. Hammer's not cocked, but he's ready. Southerner standing there with his rifle. Goes, "Come on." So he takes his one hand off, points it kind of up, still with the able to cock and set and fire. The Yank approaches him real close, standing there between the building and the trees. As they stand there and stare at each other. He sets the rifle down real slow. The Yank sets his down real slow. So they both set him down, put their hands up, and they walk towards each other. As they get no more than a few paces away, they square up for boxing. As they get ready to fight, the Southerner goes to throw the first punch. The Yankee kind of dodges it and throws one back. And the Southerner kind of catches it and sidearms him right into the side. Northerner gasps a little, but then throws a punch, hitting the Southerner in the chest, pushing him back a little. As they square up again, this time the Yank goes to throw a punch. The Southerner blocks it and goes to throw, and the Northerner kind of grabs it in the arm, knocks him right in the face, drops the Southerner. The Southerner, feeling his face. Oh, adrenaline's rushing though, so the pain sustains for now. As the man stands back up, kind of turns himself around, his hat's on the ground now. The Yank's hat's still out there in the field. They re-square up one more time. This time, Southerner, he's ready. As they approach each other, Northerner throws a punch and the Southerner just whacks him right in the head. Get him right there in the jaw, just right on the ground. He's hurting. His teeth feel a little loose now. He's shaking. Northerner's just like, laying there on the ground. Ugh. And the Southerner just kind of backs up and spits. Kind of looks, because he's back at the edge of the shack, he looks at his rifle. The Yank notices him looking at his rifle, looks at his pistol. And so the Southerner goes to reach for his thing, and the Yank grabs his pistol, and they point at each other. Northerner, laying there on the ground, holding his jaw, goes, well, looks like we got ourselves another good predicament. Southerner stops, thinks for a minute, a few seconds, and then goes, Yank, you definitely ain't no yellow belly, but you sure the hell are one tough ass, pain in the ass Yank. Yank laying there on the ground, just kind of slowly sits up a little bit, still pointing his gun. Goes, yeah, I can say the same about you, Reb. The Southerner and goes, listen, I want to show you something. Northerner goes, what? Why? I don't give a crap. What do you want to show me? He goes, I want to show you something to change this predicament. As the Southerner takes his hand off, reaches down into his pocket, flicks something at the Northerner. Northerner hits him in the chest, and he grabs it real quick as he keeps his eyes on the Southerner. Then looks at what this Johnny Reb threw at him. He's like, what? He takes a bite and it bends. Is this a gold piece? Excuse me. Southerner then goes, yeah, unmarked. Now let me ask you, Yank. You ever seen $100,000 in gold? Or maybe more? Excuse me. As the Yank, in total confusion, kind of stands up to his feet. The Southerner sets his gun back down, picks up his hat, dusts it off, sets it back on his head. The northerner puts his gun back into his holster, looking at the blank coin, no markings, just minted out. Goes, where'd you even get this? What? I'm confused. The southerner and goes, like I said, you ever seen $100,000 or more in gold? No. No, I haven't. Well, why don't you join me, Yank? You showed me really good grit. And I think you and me could make something happen. Northerner, confused, scratches his face, feeling the pain and the adrenaline's starting to wear off. They're starting to feel their injuries. The Yank walks out, picks up his hat by the rock, whistles for his horse. Horse comes galloping over. Southerner goes and gets his horse. His gun still leaning against the building. The Yank walks over there, picks the rifle up. The southerner steps up onto his horse, rides close up to the Yank, out there by the front of the building. The Yank then looks at him and says, well, how could I trust you? Southerner then gets down, walks over to the window, leans in, grabs his coffee in his cup, pours another one into his single cup, stretches it out. The Yank takes his rifle and puts it back for him on his saddle holster. Turns around, takes the cup from him, and then looks at him real funny. The southerner takes it back, takes a drink, and then hands it back to him. And then says, well, so he pulls his watch out again, clicks it open. Listen, Yank, I don't got time. You're either coming or you're not. As he steps back up onto his horse, the Yank takes a small drink, throws the coffee, looks at his horse, looks at the Johnny Reb, thinks about the coin in his other hand, and then just says, screw it. I ain't got nothing better to do. As he hands the cup to the southerner, he puts it away in his saddlebags. He puts the coin down in his pocket, looks at the guy and says, well, Reb, hope you ain't expecting to getting that coin back, because I'm not handing it back. The Reb laughs a little and says, listen, Yank, they call me William Bone. My friends call me Bone. That's been my name. Best remember it. And the Yank goes, well, Bone, William. They call me Buck. And the southerner looks at him. Buck? You got a last name? No. For right now, Buck is fine. Southerner goes, oh, alright, whatever. As he then steps up on his horse, the northerner rides up beside. He goes, well, Bone, look forward to working with you. As the two shake hands. And then they ride off. And that's it. if anybody would like the story continued, or a part 2 or whatever, let me know. But for now, everybody have a good day, and yeah, we'll see if we continue this stuff.